Hello, beautiful people of the internet. My name is Ryan. Welcome to Blueprints. Except I don't know that we're going to be playing Blueprints in today's episode. This is episode 106. I think in this episode we may just be playing Photoshop. We got a wealth of information in the last episode, and I'm going to walk you through what it was really quickly, and then I'm going to walk you through where I thought we might start, which is with a debate about grammar. But we'll get to that in a second. So in the last episode, we tackled a couple new blue memos. I think like 4 to 5 new blue memos on the 8th rank by drafting new rooms out there. And then attempted to castle by swapping our rook power with the king power in the chess room and discovered a whole mind-blowing... a whole mind-blowing room. A tomb with a B. A tomb with an Arendian crest on it. 8 Morajai allowance puzzle boxes that did not have allowance inside of them. And, of course, one more puzzle. I'm going to keep calling the puzzles in this game one more puzzle until all of a sudden it's been one more puzzle for 80 episodes and we're still tracking something new down. So I thought today, the first thing we could start with is a more focused look at the pieces of text we unlocked. The poem is, I guess, what I'm going to call it. From the unknown room, the Ares court, potentially. I don't know. We're going to start here and see where it takes us. I wanted to put all of these 8 pieces of text on the same screen at the same time so that I can look at them and compare them and contrast them and etc. So that's what we're gonna do. And I already have a thought. I've already been sit down a little bit of a rabbit hole here with regards to one of these pieces of paper. There's the first 4. Let's start here. So, in Ares Court, where the king now lays, I read that and I got a little confused about something. Which is this. If I were writing this piece of text, my brain says that one word here is wrong. And it's the last one. But I'm one of those people who I do not know off the top of my head the rules for grammar. I have to continually look them back up. And I'm also aware that sometimes my instincts are wrong. So I did do a small amount of Googling on lay versus lie when it comes to and the past tense. I did a little bit of Googling on lay versus lie, and I'm just going to tell you what I found and how it still confuses me a little bit, because I think it's interesting, and we'll get into the actual. Let's start this by knowing that the most important thing is that lays is just meant to rhyme with phrase, and that's the problem. The poem writer wanted it to rhyme, and so arms and charms, lays and phrase. It's going to have to rhyme. But in my head, in Ares Court, where the king now lies, would be the correct word choice for... In my head, this means where the king has been laid to rest. But here's the problem. Laid to rest is lay, and lie is the other word. So for those of you who don't know, lie, not to fib, but to recline or rest. Present tense, lie or lies. Past tense, lay, L-A-Y. Past participle, lain. I have lain on the bed for a while. Then there's the word lay, which means to place something down. So one of these you'll notice has a to be placed. Sorry. One of these is to place something down, and the other one is to perform an action. To lie or rest, to recline or rest. Lay present tense, lay or lays. Past tense, laid. Past participle, laid. So she laid on the carpet. She has lain on the carpet. Wait. She has lain on the carpet, and she has lain on the carpet would be, has laid on the carpet would be the past participle. Oh my God, we're already so in the weeds, and it doesn't even fucking matter. But here's my question: is the king reclining or resting, or is the king placed down? When you bury somebody, or when you put them in a tomb, which is what I think this is referring to, it sort of raises an interesting existential question, right? To place something down requires that an object be placed. There is somebody performing the action, and there is a direct object receiving the action. The king is not placing himself down because he's dead. He is being placed down. So you would lean towards lay, right? But then that would be, so it says now. So we are in present tense. So I think that is what they chose here. In Ares court, where the king now lays. The king is currently laying. The king now lays. But what is the so if that is the case, right? The king is the subject there, not the object. Which makes no sense, because the king did not lay anything down. He has been laid down. So wouldn't it be the king lies, as in the king rests, or reclines, as in like forever because he's dead? I don't know. But the past part, that would then be where the king now lies, where the king now rests, where the king now is in a reclined position inside of a tomb. If it's the king now lays, what is the king laying? The king should have an object to then set down. What is the king laying down? I don't know. This game makes me crazy. Does any of this matter? No. Unless, of course, it's a fucking clue, which is why when I get all of these clues arranged on the piece of paper, on this Photoshop document, I am going to write down lays? Lies? What's going on here? Why is it that way? Anyways, let's go back through the rest of the poem. In Ares court, where the king now lays, I assume, because I am in a room with a tomb, and it's not uncourt-like, you know, maybe it's a court. Maybe it's a court. I don't know how to trim a piece of, how do you, this is an interesting question. I don't know how to trim these pieces of, these memos. I don't want to crop them. I want to, oh, shit. I know I can do this. I can edit contents. And then do this. Let's do this. Welcome to Ryan Plays Photoshop. Let's do it this way. Oh no, wrong one. Wrong button. Shit. Why is it doing a square? Oh boy. Oh. Okay, ignore me. I don't want any of this. I just want to be able to crop to the specific size that I want. Can you just select and then crop to that? You can. Okay, excellent. So then if we hit save, then that crops it on this too, because we've edited the original document, which I think is fine. Okay. So that's a little bit of complicated stuff. Maybe I'll do that off camera because I don't really want to waste time doing that for all of you. So let me be right back. I'm going to do that. Be right back. Okay. Here we are. I should zoom in so you guys can see this a little bit better. Listen, did I have to do a little bit of Googling how to use Photoshop? Yes. Do I still use it every day? Yes. I'm not an expert. I just get by. In Ares court, where the king now lays, and I think we can start to potentially mix this, like mark this up. So we're going to add a new layer. I'm going to call this lies? Question mark? We're going to put all of our text as white and probably put it a lot smaller so that we can kind of keep things in line and with space to make more marks. Okay. In Ares Court, where the king now lies, question mark? Lies. I think this, so before we get into this too much, we're going to seek to understand it. But most importantly, I think for now, we're going to seek to get a to-do list from it. What do we need to do? I need direction. At this late stage in the game, I think one of the biggest mistakes I can make is to not have direction. So if something gives me if a document like this gives me anything to test or to attempt to find, that is the best thing possible, because I need to keep chasing stuff down. So what does this mean? In Ares Court, I think is probably here. If it is not, then it is a place that we will discover at some point, I hope. Because I'm going to need to if I want to solve this thing. On the Sacred Hour, that time-worn phrase. So Sacred Hour is 1:30. I don't even remember how I know that. But I do know we needed it for Clock Tower. I don't even remember where I first pieced this together. Was it in Alzara? I don't even know. Was it in Alzara? Vision? It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out eventually, or we won't. One or the other. 1:30. Sacred Hour. Is it the Clock Tower document? No, I'm getting distracted. But I am aware that I'm getting distracted, which makes it okay. The Clock Tower note? I don't think so, right? Southward I see a swan. Ashen like sands of the shore. No. But it does have an interesting, it does say rogue like the moon, which will matter. And it does have the Arenda Ares symbol. So maybe this has something to do with this room that we're in. I don't even know. Okay. On the Sacred Hour, that time-worn phrase. So I wonder here if that time-worn phrase does not refer to the Sacred Hour, or if it refers to something else. Time-worn phrase could be a sort of like play on words. Sacred Hour, time-worn, the time of that Sacred Hour. It usually means like a time-worn means like ancient, or like it's seen a lot of time. Time-worn phrase. Will a youth approach? So far we have two prepositional phrases in Ares Court and on the Sacred Hour that both are describing or are modifying a central structure to the sentence. Will a youth approach with empty arms? This is just an ancient way of saying a youth will approach. When this happens, this will happen. A youth will approach with empty arms. We take this to mean no items. As I said last episode, I think this maybe means either no items, no, I approach without something. And then I think the next sentence is going to say, or the next line is going to tell us what the something is. Without gifts, nor gold, nor mannered charms. Mannered, I think, is a play on words. I think this means mannered as well, as in things you got from the manor. I don't know exactly how to interpret this entire line. Without gifts nor gold. I think it probably means no coins, but I think it also probably means no items, question mark? I feel confident about the no coins. What are charms, question mark? Mannered charms is not a physical item. It's always a language question, right? Charms are items, but mannered charms, I think we Googled this last episode, right? Doesn't that just mean like, oh, Jesus, don't Google mannered charms, because then the autofill is blueprints, which I do not want to look at. Mannered means behaving in a specific way, marked by idiosyncratic mannerisms. Can mean stilted. Charms can mean like baubles or like jewelry of some sort. So it could mean no items from the luxury showcase. Then we have an addition to the sentence. And in sky above, a brilliant sign. Now, brilliant here probably refers to giving off light, or like oh no, that just means 100%. That just means a constellation, which refers to a Southern Cross. It's got to be. So the thing I'm thinking with some of these, how do I phrase this? If you were tasked with writing an 8-line rhyming poem, lays, phrase, arms, charms, sign, a line, great and date, you would the task of that is very difficult. Is this also, hold up, is this also iambic? In Ares court where the king now lies. No, I don't think it is. No, it's not. Okay. Some of the lines are a little bit iambic, but it's definitely not pentameter. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. If you were to if you had to design an 8-line rhyme that is a puzzle, you would have a problem, which is that the puzzle pieces you want to put in that rhyme scheme do not just spread themselves out super evenly across the 8 lines, because you have your language is being forced. So I think what's happening here is that memo 5 and 6 are probably one puzzle piece, I think. In sky above, a brilliant sign. That sign is a sullen cross as 5 stars align. So I think this means just Southern Cross in observatory. Question mark. Now I don't know if you've had to observe it or if it just needs to have been accomplished. Like if you're on day 55, for instance, I think a Southern Cross is in the sky, because I think it is 50 plus 5. Southern Cross is 5. Now, why would you say sullen? Why say sullen? Because the thing with sullen as a word, I am going to look up the definition, is to me it means like sad, depressed, depresso, bad-tempered, or uncommunicative on account of resentment. Less sad, more angry, which is kind of funny. Angry, sad. The interesting thing there is that sullen and southern have a lot of similarities in terms of their word shape and sound. So I think it might just be a clue that is like, you've heard of a phrase that is very similar to sullen cross before. Southern Cross. But still, why do that? Because we know we're looking at stars, because the game says 5 stars align. Anyways, I don't know why they choose sullen there. I don't know. It's a weird word choice. Maybe it means it's a clue. Maybe it means that the person choosing the word chose a weird word. I don't know. So like I said, I think we have a set of conditions. A patient figure, a reckoning great. These strike me as as confusing. A statue, a painting. When I think of a patient figure, I think in some ways, the most patient figures of all are those put forever into a specific position by being sculpted or painting. Sculpted or painted. Now, a reckoning means, in my opinion, and I probably should Google this, but I want to be a little careful, means like a moment of reckoning means like an epiphany, for lack of a better word. An epiphany slash like a learning moment, for lack of a better word. for lack of one word where 3 will do. I am going to Google it really quickly just to make sure I'm having the correct definition of the word. Reckoning definition. The action or process of estimating something. This is not the verb version. This is the noun version. I'm not going to reckon on something. I am having a reckoning. A person's view, opinion, or judgment. A bill or account. It's settlement to do a reckoning, to settle an account. Okay. The black key. So this means. So I think what this basically means, if we had to completely sum it up, come to this place at this time, carrying this shit with this sign in the sky. Approach a statue or painting. There was a painting in the fucking thing. And you will have this reckoning. The black key is lying with the last king of 8. You will have the black key. For the treasure trove? Question mark? And then there is the last king of 8. To me, this sounds like a Pirates of the Caribbean Pieces of 8 kind of thing. I'm not aware that there were 8 kings, I don't think, but I'm going to put it down as a question mark. There were 8 kings. Now, that does make me want to look at something. So if I were to... I think we have a... For once in this fucking game, I think we have, hilariously, a pretty good understanding of what is being told to me. Now, it's very possible I've misunderstood something. Maybe I'm not in the right place. Maybe Ares Court is somewhere else other than that place that we popped into. Maybe I've messed up Sacred Hour, or that time-worn phrase means something else entirely. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the circumstances about items and gifts and all that. It's possible this is wrong. I don't know. That said, I think I mostly have a good understanding of what this means and what it refers to. I don't. So if I'm looking for, like, where does this point me? One, I think I try this. I don't know how I manage all of this, but I think I try it. Two, the 8 kings. I mean, I'm at least curious enough to go to a history of Arendia and try and figure out how many kings there were, right? Seems like a great and obvious place to start. Okay. First king of Arendia, Oris. We then get to 4. The 4th king of Arendia split it into different shares. King Desolates the 3rd. Now, is that the 5th king? Let's count that in our head as the 5th king. Then we would have either Learson or King Desolates the 4th as the 6th king. Depending on who you ask, but I'm pretty sure it's okay, then so, I mean, and that's the end of Arendia. It's right here. So I guess the question is this. But here's the other complex thing. Fourth king of Arindia split the domain. Does that necessarily mean that King Desolates III is the fifth king? There may be some time between those two things that between those two events that adds a king or two or something like that. I just don't know how we get to 8, you know? If King Desolates the Third is the fifth, that means fourth is the sixth. Who's the seventh and eighth? Because the eighth king is buried here. I don't know. I'm going to write down there were 8 kings. My math doesn't add up. Okay. So if we were to try this, what would we need to do? By 1:30 in the day, approach without items. That probably requires let's like theory craft this, right? Without items could mean a lost and found situation where it removes all of your items. Without coins, that's a chapel situation. How do you get rid of coins? You can spend them, you can lose them in chapel, you can trade them away and make them other things. You can you could be cursed. Oh, wait, is that a genius idea? Steady as the scepter, deadly as the stone. I wish this made any sense in comparison. This is okay. So you know what I was just saying a couple seconds ago? For once in my life, for once in this game, it feels insane, but I think I understand what is being said. I think I understand the instructions being given to me. You know the example I was thinking of shit I don't understand? Shit I don't understand the directions of? This? And also this? And also this? For once in my life, I understand the instructions. For once in this game. But I don't understand it in any of the other places. So anyways, my thought is, how do I get no coins? How do I get no items? Doesn't Curse have a thing where it gets rid of some coins? Nor mannered charms. Now that I don't know about. I don't know what that means. We will have to get observatory, and we will have to, and this is hard. This is cool. We're gonna have to. I think the goal should be that we should observe the Southern Cross in the sky and like click on the ability. Like we should have that like boon or buff basically, or boon or bane. Having clicked on it, which I think is going to require the day before spending constellation, spending stars on redrafting rooms to get to the point where we are at like, let's go with like 54. So that the next day when we draft observatory, it goes up to 55. We click on it, then we have it. I think we can try it. I think we can basically try it now. Now, there is a little bit of a thing that I'm a little concerned with. In sky above, a brilliant sign could mean constellation. However, we also have a thing that makes me a little nervous, which is that, what does this mean? In eclipses only appear in the north sky. I don't think that the in Ares court document is referring to anything other than Southern Cross. I think this note is probably being like, hey, in means north, I think is basically what they're trying to teach me. But I'm nervous about it. There was another item I was going to look at in my notes, and I don't remember what it is. Oh, boy. Okay. I don't remember what it is. I'll remember it at some other point. I think we should probably play the game. I think we should probably try to play the game. So let's do it. I'm going to close some documents and save them and get the game back to ready. Okay, let's do it. Day 158. We'll see what we can get up to. I don't know if we're going to be able to. I'm going to call this a setup run. I don't know that I'm going to have Southern Cross in the night sky immediately. My guess is no. I don't know how many stars I have. If we have 55 randomly, I think we have like 50 or like 49, unfortunately, because I spent some last time. But we'll call this a setup run. And we have 50. So we need some more stars. We need at least 5 more stars. Okay. So I also could not tell you where I called it a day. We don't even have the... Oh, shit. So I was going to say, we don't even have the blessing of the monk. I don't know. I don't remember where I called it a day last time. I think probably downstairs in the quote-unquote Ares court. But I also forgot that we... In the process of doing this, we no longer have the rook. Banner of the king, choose a color. Rooms of the chosen color are more likely to be drawn while drafting today. You could choose black, which is interesting because you can't do that on a lot of other things. Like you can't do that on a secret passage. Do I have a preference here? If this is a setup room, I would like to get observatory. I'm going to have to do a couple runs. Observatory. We could do black just to get treasure trove. I think that's probably the most likely thing to do. Treasure trove gives us more clues, hypothetically. It's also... Black is a very low-risk choice, I think, because there's only 2? 3 if you include armory, 4 if you include aquarium. Probably. Am I... Now listen, it's very possible that I'm an idiot. What's this? Why is there 001? Why is there room 1 is missing? Has that always been that way? There's no way, right? What does that even mean? Wait. Is that... It's possible that that has always been the case. But I also feel like I'm seeing a ghost. Like, what is that? I thought entrance hall was right here. Am I wrong? Okay, none of the things happened. Like, we don't have the room that I thought we might have. Okay, so I want to do a couple things. One, I want to go check some videos to see of my own videos to see if we have room 1. If this has always been the case. I'm so confused by that. That feels wrong, but I also don't trust my own memory at all. So here's the thing. We don't have blessing, which would be kind of nice. We don't have... Here's what we should do. We should immediately go and check and see if we have access to that room. Because if we have access to that room, that changes things as well. If we don't, then that means that we also need to solve the chess puzzle on the day that we eventually do all of these other requirements. Sorry, I'm sitting here thinking about three things at once. We should also try... It is... this is exciting. So I do wonder if that means that I can't grab whatever power was here, but I can come down here immediately. Let's just do it. Let's go down here immediately. Okay, so they are not holding the pieces of their... This needs solved again in order to... needs solved again in order to be accessed. I'm guessing it's the same piece of paper, right? Let's just double check. Yeah, okay. All right, cool. It still says unknown. Okay. Well, the good news is we weren't having a hallucination. We were having a hallucination. That room is real, and it is immediately accessible, which is a godsend, because I thought for sure I was going to have to keep swapping king and rook to get down there. That's huge. That's great to know. Very good to know. Okay, back upstairs. I think I probably should just try and draft observatory and then keep it hustling, right? Keep it moving. Because if we get the black key, that's one thing. We're going to have to use the black key. And my assumption is that the black key goes to the black treasure trove chest that we found when we got it outside. But that is an assumption. We probably should try to have the blessing of the monk happening at the time when we need when we get the key, so that we can have the key and just take it directly there. But if not, then we need to code check it, and oh boy, it just gets complex. Lost and found is fine because I have no items. Nothing new here. Okay. So I think our goal right now is just to go... Oh, I did have an item. Shit. I think our goal right now is just to get... observatory. That said... Do I also... I think we probably just rush for observatory. I could also go for a... setting foundation somewhere, or I could go for rank 8 and trying to get the blue memos. Which probably would not hurt, but would take me some time. Lost our telescope. All right, well, that was quick. I think my goal right now is just to get observatory. Observatory and treasure trove, because treasure trove is quick. There's throne room. Sure. It looks like this is the thing that old man was sitting on. It just does. I think it does. Okay, we got magnifying glass. Oh man, my game is running bad. I have an extra program open on my computer compared to normal, which means that it is a... My game is a little bit lagging. How do you get rid of everything? I think that's going to be the hardest part. How do you get rid of everything? Lost and found, to get rid of all of your items. You can, if you have study, you can spend gems to redraft. If you get locker room, you can use as many keys as you have. Dice are free to use. Chapel is the way to get... I mean, I think it's going to require a lot of special circumstances to make this work. But the main thing that we need right now is we need more stars. There's treasure trove. So, we can also just not pick up the allowance. Frankly, we can not pick up the allowance. And you don't have to pick up... You start with 2 gems, but you don't have to pick anything else up. Which is interesting. Like I said last time, it's so weird to be faced with a potential puzzle that requires you to get rid of all of these resources you've tried to gather. But I also love it from a thematic standpoint. Because it feels very... It appeals to me in a big way that the political statement of in a Finn Ares world, in order to receive the... Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I save this. Blueprints, treasure trove. This is box number 28. In order to receive the black key, you have to sort of get rid of all of your worldly possessions. Listen, the part of me that the little religious kid inside of me is vibing with it. The kid who was raised religious inside of me. No realm is considered spiritual. I would call that a lie, but my goal right now is not to judge. It is just to note down what these memos say. And then we'll go from there. Okay, memo 28. So at this point, we just need observatory. Let's see if we can find it real quick. And then we will reset. We could also... Calling it a day in observatory gets you stuff. Is that right? I think. I can't wait to see Foundation. I'm so nervous about it. It's been forever. There's Observatory. This gives us 2. What if we draw a planetarium right now? Call it there to gain 2? We don't have the blessing right now. I think we should. Okay, I'm going to need keys. Wish I had the telescope. How does prism key work outside of aquarium? Why was it yellow? What? Explain that shit to me. What? That shouldn't be the case. Right? I thought it was going to maybe just give me random rooms like it would normally work. Like, does it function as a normal key? As a normal key? And when I say explain that to me, by the way, I'm just saying that out loud. I'm not actually saying it to explain it. Come on, give me observatory. I do actually want to go back into dormitory to see if there's a sundial in there, because it's been forever. Is there a sundial? There's also a chessboard, which we did not get any real benefit from. I thought we should come in here for a chessboard. There was not any reason to do that. Anything related to a sundial? Oh, running shoes. Let's go. I was like, those look like a lot like running shoes. Okay. We have... This is our last key. So we would really like to get it at this point. We can still draft along the bottom side, but... We can go from drawing room. This gives us an extra gem. Chance to redraw so long as it's not locked. Give me a observatory. There it is. Hell yeah. So this gets us to 51, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Then let's double check here. Southern Cross. Go. This will put us at 53 for next time, meaning we want to be sitting on 54 because the moment we draft observatory, it goes up one. Call it a day here. If we get around 54 or 55, I can always just spend... As long as we're above 54, I can spend stars to get us back down. So that's fine. Because we still have a lot of setup to do. Like, I need to get Blessing of the Monk. I need to... I think that's the main one. Okay. Let's go see if we can get Shrine. 53 stars. That's good. Then... I'm a little bummed that... Oh, we found Shrine. I was not expecting that, honestly. I'm a little bummed that we figured out Castle, because I was having so much fun losing my mind with the sundial. Now it feels like the sundial's on a back burner. And I don't like that. I want to solve that shit. Okay, 78 is what I have written down. Should be Blessing of Monk. Let's go. Beautiful. I mean, we could do this. We could do this. I don't want to mess with the curse, especially now that I have the Blessing. So I think we're going to have to do Chapel. To get rid of coins, is what I'm trying to say. Or we just don't pick them up. Or we just don't pick them up, which is totally an option. I need to remember that. I need to remember that you can just not pick them up. I will say this is exciting for one other reason too, which is that... Okay, two thoughts at once, and I need to focus. First thought. It's exciting that I might want to be drafting Lost and Found more to get rid of items, because I like Lost and Found, but also because we failed last time to use Repellent in Antechamber. And I want to know what happens if you do that. And I think one of the ways that I think the only way I've ever gotten Repellent, maybe I've traded for it or something. I think the only way I've ever gotten it has been finding it on the table in Lost and Found. And then Ann Babbage giving it to me. So the more we draft Lost and Found, we're also chasing that down. Okay, that thought aside, for this run, our goal is to end this run with 54 stars, meaning we need to draft Observatory. We need to... Is there anything else I need to do? Any other setup I need to do? I don't think so. I think that's kind of it. I can use the thing of the king to help with that. But it's just like blue. I don't know that that's... I don't know that I want to use the Banner of the King. Like tomorrow, for instance. Oh yeah. Sorry. I also need to end the day inside of Treasure Trove to get that outside so that tomorrow I can step into the house, draft observatory. Sorry, let's pull it up on the old. And maybe let's put this in a different color. This is gonna be, let's make it like a goldish color, or orange, I guess. Buy 130. These are our requirements. Buy 130 with no coins nor items is gonna be our goal. Southern Cross in observatory. Sorry, let me just click that. With treasure trove drafted in the outside room. Thoughts? I think that works. So our goal is buy 130, get rid of all of our items and coins and maybe gems and keys. I don't fucking know. Okay. Let's do it. So today we just need shrine. Today that means observatory, and that means treasure trove. Throne room here is fine. We have more gems inside of parlor room if we need them, but we don't need to take them. Let's go ahead and grab music room gets us keys. Now we're gonna go take our gems because we're out. The white box is empty. This is the only true statement, or there are two false statements. If this is true, then this would also be true, but it cannot be true, which means that that is a problem. I think that must mean if this is false, okay, to solve this puzzle, we have to determine the true. I think we actually have to determine that this one is false. The white box has to be, the white box is empty, must be false in order to have an answer. Meaning, this is false. This is true. This is false. I think that's correct. I think it's pretty easy. Cool. Man, I'm starting to like these. Just good because I've done a bunch of them at this point. Okay. We need observatory and we need treasure trove. There's both. Let's take observatory here, because the other one is more likely. This puts us at 54. We don't need to grab the stuff in here, but I am going to grab it. Don't remember what the other one does. Fixed stars, what does it say? Gives you a gem. Duh. Okay. We'll take it. Okay. So, are we making this happen like right now? Is it happening? This is crazy. I think it might be happening like right now. Lost our secret garden key. It's got telescope in it. I don't think. I want to have to wait to draft observatory tomorrow without affecting. I don't know. Okay. Let's just keep going. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. hilariously, this puzzle seems to be very, like, kind of keep it simple. We don't need that money. We need to... I think we're doing it, guys. I think we're doing it right now. Save. This is box number 29. Save. Use a key. Memo number 29. The last door of 8. Is in the inner sanctum. This is very interesting to me. And I think we might have finally approached the point where it is time to solve the treasure trove boxes. Because the last door of 8 is the same phrasing as the last king of 8. Which means that this document now needs a new note. Does the key... go to the last door of 8 from treasure trove? I misspelled treasure. I put a W in it. I may not remember my my grammar rules about lay and lie all that much, but I do know treasure doesn't have a W in it. Okay. I assumed that the black key had to mean the treasure trove chest. But now there's mention of a door. I think before I do anything else, I need to try solve the memo puzzles, because this, the treasure trove puzzles, because this memo matters to me. If I get the black key, it might have something to do with this. There are 8 doors in the inner sanctum, but I don't know if that's what this means. I need to do 2 things. One, I have a text from my wife that I need to go take care of something. In case, I don't know, in case you guys missed it in the background of my camera. We're in the process of moving houses. Things are very complex in my personal life right now, in a way that I'm not getting, in a good way, but in a way that I'm not really, I'm trying to not talk too much about on camera. I'm just trying to play the games and enjoy this little slice of gaming. But I have something I need to go take care of, some personal life stuff I need to go take care of. I also kind of need to pee. This episode will not stop here, but I am going to pause for a little bit. I may also go back and look at some footage to see if this is weird. That's got to be weird. Oh, it's just foundation. It's just foundation. It's foundation. It's the foundation. It's room number 1. It's the foundation upon which all of the other rooms are built. And it's missing because I took it out of my fucking thing. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, I'll be back. We're going to try and solve the memos in a little bit, but until then, I need to go take care of something. Bye. Okay, I think that's taken care of. Let's do it. Let's solve the thing we have been waiting. We've been waiting for a reason to solve the treasure trove boxes and memos. So, I have some of these memos, like sort of labeled as to why they are true or false, because their meanings and their truthiness or falsiness like overlaps on each other. If this one is false, then that affects the other ones, etc. That said, it's been a while since I've taken a look at this. However, our goal is to get to an understanding of Memo 29. The last door of 8 is in the inner sanctum. The goal is to figure out whether or not that is true or false. So, let's start from the beginning. It is a red memo meaning it is likely false unless handwritten, at least by sort of default status. It was inside of a white box with a moon on it. Let's just go from the beginning. So, green memos you find in this room will always be true. We think that is false. I don't know what color box it was in, but never mind. I can see. It's right here. It's a white box. We don't know what the box had on it. Memo 2. I currently have written down on my list of notes. If it's a green note in a white box, that equals false. That's one of the things I have written down. Green memos in white boxes are always lies. There we go. That's where we got it from. Box 2, or memo 2. Memo 3. True treasure of the trove is not in the house. We think that is true. It is green. It is also in a blue box. I'm not sure if that will matter. Memo 4. This is handwritten. That statement was true. This one we believe is also true. Memo 5. This is the stuff that we've already done before. Eventually, we're going to get to some stuff that we haven't, but 2 realms have the same color banner. That's false. It is a green memo in a white box. Memo 6. This was a black box. Boxes marked with moons always contain false statements. I believe this to be false. I have written this down as moon boxes can be true. The reverse of that statement. Memo 7, the true treasure of the trove is not in this room. That is false. Because it is red? Because I think it's false. Because it is in this room, but it's outside of the house. I don't know. Did I think it's false because it's... Do I think it's false because of its color and its non-handwritten nature, or what? Let's close some of these memos. Memo 8. All boxes marked by suns contain memos that are true. So, that is a very useful... I have that one written down. That is a very useful rule. So for every future one, we should check, did it come with the sun? Box 8 came with the sun and said, all boxes marked by those are true. Box 9 had a moon on it. Pink boxes, it was a blue box with a moon on it. Pink boxes marked with moons always contain false statements. I don't know why I think this is true. Because I currently believe that green memos in the treasure trove... Oh! This is false. Because not every green memo. If the green memo is in a white box, then it is false, right? So this is false. So I need to mark out one of the things I have written down here. Oh boy, good luck following along with this at home. My head hurts already. So why do I think this is true? This is box 9. It is a blue box with a moon on it. And it says, pink boxes marked with moons always contain false statements. Okay, I'm going to write down 9 as a big question mark, and we're going to keep going. Memo 10, there is no realm that flies the white flag. That is false. That is in a moon pink box, a pink moon box. Is that why we think this is true? Is it the always that is weird, though? 9 is possibly true because 10 is false. Box 11 is a pink swirly, like this thing, and says the previous box in this room contained a true statement. That was false. Okay. Memo 12, you will need a key to obtain the true treasure of the trove. This is a black box with the sun on it. We believe sun boxes are always true. We also think this is true. We think we need a key. So we're double checking our own work. And then that, nope, pretty close to there, 13 through 29 in terms of my memos. I don't really know what's true or false. I have a couple exceptions where I have written stuff out. Let's go with memo 13. Blue boxes marked by waves contain false statements. This is memo 13. It is on a blue moon box. Oh boy. Have we had any of these statements yet? We have not had any of these boxes yet. If it is blue, it is likely true. Now, just real quick, let me just check something real quick. So, for now, I'm going to write down pink moons equal false. I think this is true, and I think we should assume that for now. So pink moons equals... Because I'm going to need a way to start delineating between different statements. Oh, boy. Okay. So the memo in question is memo 13. Blue waves equal false. I'm going to tentatively call this tentative true. Okay? Let me get rid of some more shit. So, the funny thing is, in all of the boxes that I've looked at, we haven't seen a single blue wave. So I don't know. That may be not important. Memo 14 comes in a white wave box. So far, I do not have a rule about white wave boxes. So, I think we can assume that it has nothing weird going on there. This should be false. Green memos in boxes, blue boxes are sometimes false. Green memos in blue boxes. I have to sneeze. Oh my god. This is the worst. Okay. I think so far I have had one blue box with a green memo in it, and that was number 9, which was true. We think. I'm going to mark number 9 as a tentative true because I am still just a little bit scared of it. I don't know why we know. I think we think it's true because it has so far proven to be true, but I don't know that that's a great reason to be true. Memo 14, I would call this tentative false. I don't know how to make it a true statement. Like, what is the opposite of this? Green memos and blue boxes are sometimes false. They're always false? They're sometimes true? I don't know. And I think it probably matters, and so I'm going to kind of skip it a little bit. Green memos and blue boxes, sometimes true. If this is false, what does it tell us? I'm going to write down green in blue equals question marks, and then point to 14 so that I know that that's the place I should be. looking for information. Okay. Memo 15, we believe to be true. Finn Ares borders a poetic realm. That is a green in a blue. It is true, meaning this is false. Cool. Okay, so turns out 14 gave us the hint to 15 gave us the hint to 14, which I think happens a lot in this game, which is half the time when I see a new, in this treasure trove, when I see a new memo, I'm like, why spend time working on it right now when the next room that I get will probably be the thing that helps me or hurts me here. Okay, so 15 we believe to be true. 16, white box, green memo. We think that means false in general. It never rains in arch areas. We know it's false in general. Okay. Or we know it's false in practice, I should say. Oh my god, sorry, I gotta blow my nose again. Okay, memo 17. We don't know anything about this. Green memos in pink boxes are always false. This is a blue. This is a blue inside of a white box. The box has a 17 sun on it, which we believe sun boxes are true. If that were true, then that would make this two. Green memos in pink boxes are always false. Do I have a green memo in a pink box? Yes. Memo 10, which we know is false, and it is in a green box, okay? And memo 18, the one after this one, is also a green memo in a pink box. We know this to be false because I have not seen all of the memos that occur in this room. So it is false in a duplicatable way. Sorry, it's false in duplicate. It's false in two ways. It's false because we, in practice, know that it is not true. And it is false because memo 17 says that it is false. So memo 17 must be true. And memo 17 has been correct before. I'm going to lose my mind. This game is beautiful. I fucking love it. It's insane. I'm going to lose my mind. Green. How does it make so much sense? I listen to what I'm saying and it doesn't make any sense. But you know. Green and pink equals false. This is linked to number 17. Okay. We just solved 18. 19 says the next 4 boxes marked by moons contain false statements. The problem is I have written down that moon boxes can be true, question mark, question mark, question mark. This is a sun box, though, meaning I think that number 19 is likely true. The next 4 boxes marked by moons contain false statements. Okay, so this was 19. So let's find the next 4 that have moons on it. 24. 26. 29, and that's it. So, and 29 is this one. So that's the one we're trying to solve. So we think it's false. Okay, this is exciting. I'm just going to write down this rule, and I can cross it out next. Okay. Next 4 moons after 19 are false. And we think that means moon number, or sorry, box number 24, 26, 29, and then there's one more, so I will need to keep this in mind moving forward. Now let's go to each of those and figure out if they are true or false, because we may be able to prove ourselves wrong here. Memo 24. As you always suspected, there is more to the den than meets the eye. That's probably false. There are 3 memos with false statements in the clock tower. That one we don't know, but we can corroborate it. And then memo 29. Last door of 8 is in the inner sanctum. So I'm going to write those down as all false. I think for now we trust memo 19. It's in a sun box, which I have every reason to trust. So memo 29 is false with the last in. Memo 26. I'm going to write down false, but double check. That's the one with the clock tower. We could double check it at some point if we start to get nervous. And then memo 24, false. There is nothing extra going on in the din. Now, we should mark memo 19, this one we were looking at right here, as true, with the option that it may change. We may have to, you know, sometimes you have to double back. If the fourth moon box has a provably true statement, or a provably, true statement in it, then that would concern us. Okay. Memo 20. Memo 20 is a pink wave box. It is a green statement in a pink box, meaning it should be false according to memo 17. Red memos in blue boxes are always true. Let's double check and see if we have any of those. Red memos, blue boxes. I actually don't think I have any. Unless it was one of these first 4 that I didn't take photos of the boxes. It doesn't look like it. Sorry. Red memos in blue boxes. So box 9, does it have a red memo? No. Box 13, does it have a red memo? No. 15, no. 19, no. So I actually can't prove this to be false. I think we just assume it is false because of green memos in pink. I can't, like, what's the word? I can't authenticate it. But I can assume that it is false because memo 17 tells us it is false. And we trust 17 so far. As long as everything authenticates with each other, it all works out. The minute one thing doesn't authenticate, then we have a problem and we have to backtrack to the source and be like, okay, well, if I learned information later that makes this one false, that may change everything. Either way, we're done with 20. 21. Handwritten green memos are always false, but would be true if you changed one color in the text. 20 is one of those. Memo 10 is the other one. This one could be true if you changed it to like a very specific color, right? If you made it like neon green, neon yellow, or something like that. So I think that's fine. That matches. Oh, sorry. Before we do anything else, I gotta check the box. Memo 21 is it's blue inside of a sun box. Okay, so it's blue inside of a sun box. Black box has nothing to do with it. Okay, so we assume that this is true. I'm going to go ahead and write it down as true. And then let's... Oh, there's actually... The next memo is also one of them. Okay, that's a tough one. All right, let's work on it backwards. We believe 10 is false, and that keeps 21 true. Red memos and blue boxes are always true. If we were to switch one color, red memos in... It'd probably just be like blue memos in blue boxes are always true. But that actually doesn't work. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. How do you turn this into a true statement? You have to change either red or blue to a different color. If you change red, then it would be blue memos in blue boxes or green memos in blue boxes because there aren't any other colors. So let's test those out. Blue memos in blue boxes are always true. That seems good because blue memos are true. In general, supposedly, unless they have some other rule that makes them false. And blue memos are and blue boxes are fine. They don't do anything crazy for us. Here's the problem. If that box has a wave on it, then it could be a blue memo inside of a blue box. Sorry, I looked at the wrong thing. It could be a blue memo, it could be a blue box, and it would still be wrong. You know what I mean? So I think the first one is wrong. It can't be blue and then be necessarily true. Can it be green? Green memos in blue boxes? Green memos in white boxes are always true, but that's changing 2 of them. I don't know that we can actually prove that we can currently change this one to be true, which means that this one makes me nervous. I'm gonna assume for now. I don't know how to phrase this. This is insane to try and talk through. I cannot currently configure this memo 20 to be true by changing one color. However, my guess is that I will eventually be able to do that. My assumption is that I will eventually be able to say, yes, every single time red memos in pink boxes are, or whatever, are true. I cannot currently do that. But I think which means I'm gonna treat this as a true memo, but I am gonna write down some question marks on it. Handwritten. Oh my god, I can't write. Handwritten. Green. Equals false. But change one color or true. Unsure about this. I'm gonna call this tentative true because I think it might get disproven at some point. Okay, memo 23, we're gonna call this tentative false. Sorry, hold up. It is green and white boxes. Shit. Oh, this is so confusing. This is number 23. It's a green memo in a white box, which would make it true. Sorry, which would make it false. Green in white boxes means false, according to something. I don't remember where. Here. This is good because it actually corroborates what we learned with 2 other... Okay, so... This is false. Memo 23 is false. This is good because Memo 24 is a green memo that, if true, would be a big problem. I already think that it's false for a different reason. I am corroborating that by this statement being false, meaning the next 3 green memos you find in this room will all be false. Okay. Now here's the question. Does this part apply to it? Handwritten green memos are always false. It is false. We know that for the reason of the box, but can we test this against it? If you changed one color in this text, the next 3 memos you find in this room will all be true. What color? We do blue? We don't have 3 blue to test. This is the one we have to test. That is a blue. This is number 25. Inside of a sun box. So we think it is true. We think memo 25 is true. But we don't know that for a fact. Okay. I think for now we're in a good spot. Let's leave this alone. Handwritten green memos are always false. Let's leave this alone. 23 we think is false. 24 is false for a few reasons. 23 and some other number both make it false. 25 we believe to be true. It's blue inside of a white box. Sorry, a sun box. The sun box makes it true, and also I'm kind of on board with it. I mean, I don't know about the statement itself, but I can believe it. If it were true, that would not be crazy to me. This one we think is false. It's also green in a white box, and we think it's false for a different reason. That leaves 3 left, one of which we've already solved. Memo 27. This is a sun box. No, it's a wave box. Sorry, that looked like a sun. The next 2 boxes are both pink wave boxes. Okay, Memo 27. The true treasure of the trove is in the house. This is green in pink, meaning false. We have 3 total statements about the true treasure of the trove. You need a key, which is true. It's not in this room, which is false, and it's not in this house, which is true. Okay, Memo 28. No realm is considered spiritual. I would call this false. It is red, which also makes it false. I think that's just false. I think we're completely caught up, and the good news is I think we can proceed as planned. The last door of 8 is in the inner sanctum. This we believe to be false. I think we're caught up. So that means we need to prepare, because I'm not going to do it in this episode, unfortunately. We need to prepare for next episode. We have Blessing of the Monk. If we end it inside of Treasure Trove, then it should be next time. Treasure Trove gets drafted outside. We start with 54, meaning we have stars, meaning we have 1 observatory to gain to 55, then select Southern Cross. Then we need to get rid of coins. Potentially keys, gems, and or items. And get to the chess room by 1:30. Am Am I missing anything else? I'm just trying to make sure I don't drop the ball here. I think that's it. We'll see if it works. I don't know if it will, but we'll see. Unfortunately, we're going to see in the next episode. We're going to call it a day right here. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I know, sorry, a little bit of a tease to not get to try this thing that I want to try during this episode, but I needed to take the time and go through the memos of the treasure trove, and I'm really glad that we did because holy cow. 29 memos. So far I feel 95% true that we have all of them correct, and I feel very sure, 100% sure about like 90% of them, but I needed to do that to make sure that the last door of 8 isn't something that sounds important. I don't know. So, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh man, we're either progressing or we're chasing a red herring, but one of the two. One of the two. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, thank you so much for puzzling with me today. I will see you very soon. Bye.